Hey everybody, and welcome back to BK's Bullets. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Doomsday Clock hardcovers and slipcase. Hey everybody, and welcome back to BK's Bullets. As always, I am your host, Brent. We're going to be taking a look at the Doomsday Clock hardcovers today and the slipcase. Yes, I bought the slipcase. I wanted to get some new comics and went into my local comic shop. Figured they need some support, some money on mine, so I spent some money. And I got this Doomsday Clock slipcase. Funnily enough, I was in Barnes & Noble right before then looking at these, thinking, oh, I'll get these individual hardcovers, and then ultimately decided against it because I wanted to go to the comic shop and get the Batman 3 Jokers book, also from Geoff Johns right here. I got this variant covers. The last one they had, it was $10, so I said, what's the extra $3 for a variant? It's expensive enough already, right? So anyway, figured I'd pick these up. So I bought these in digitally when they were coming out over like the last 2.5-3 years, and now I have them in hardcover in this beautiful slipcase, which I he had this open, or not open, it was on the shelf, so I was looking at it and I just couldn't resist. So when you buy the slipcase, it comes like this, with some plastic wrap around it, obviously, of course, that I've already taken off, but it says this right here, Doomsday Clock Part 1 in blue, and then Part 2 in the yellow text here. So obviously when you're buying this, if you're still out there and haven't bought it yet, make sure you pay attention, you flip it over on the back, because there's a little card in here that says, hey, by the way, this only comes with Part 2. You got to buy Part 1 separately. And therein lies the rub, is that it doesn't come, or they don't sell a version yet of Part 1 and Part 2 in the slipcase. But if you did buy Part 1 in hardcover already, it is pretty nice that they packaged Part 2 with a slipcase. On some editions, not every copy of Part 2 you will see out there has the slipcase with it. You can just buy them separately on their bookshelf if you don't want the slipcase. But I think it looks really nice because it has the cover to Part 1 on here, and then you flip it over, it has the cover to Part 2, and then there's the spine. That's a pretty cool spine. And you put that right up next to Watchmen, which is where I'm going to put it, in the W's somehow, because it's a sequel to Watchmen, pretty much. And it's going to look pretty nice. It's basically like the same style. You know, just the clock is on the opposite end of the DC from my copy of Watchmen. But anyway, I think it's really nice. So yeah, so this, nicely enough, though, they don't charge you anything extra for the slipcase in terms of the regular hardcover price. This is $24.99. And then, yeah, this is just a regular hardcover. It's got the same ISBN number, $24.99, which is the same price for the first one. So that is pretty cool. So let's open these up. Let's look at what's in these hardcovers. This is the Pseudo Volume 1. It's in blue. It's even got the back, the back of the hardcover replicated on here in blue for some reason. Like, you're just gonna sit this in here, and it's either going to stay in there as long as you don't have Part 1, or you're going to be like me and take it immediately out and toss it aside. So let's toss that aside. And yeah, let's put these suckers in and see what they look like in the slipcase. You know, I started this video out this way. I took them out to talk, and now we're doing it again. So much for planning. There you go. So yeah, so you could display them on your shelf like that, or I think I'm going to do it like this. So it looks like one big hardcover. Now, these are standard size hardcovers. They are not oversized, but this is what is available now, and I think that's pretty cool. So let's open it up. So what is Doomsday Clock while we're looking at this? Doomsday Clock is a sequel to Watchmen, sort of. It's a sequel to Watchmen in that it uses the Watchmen characters to frame a story about the DC universe and kind of merge these two universes together. So here we have new characters that Geoff Johns created, as well as the old Watchmen characters, Rorschach, Ozymandias, and the Comedian, with Superman in the background, and then These are all Justice Society characters along with Batman over here with Dr. Manhattan in the background. So these don't match up or anything like that. You can't like turn them over, but they are really nice covers by Gary Frank, who does all of the art in here, and he's a phenomenal artist. If you have not read, what is it, Batman Earth 1, Volumes 1 and 2 by Geoff Johns and Gary Frank, you are missing out. So here is the inside of the dust jacket. Now, both of these are kind of weird because they don't have anything on top. In fact, there's nothing on the spine and nothing on the back. It's just, you better know that this is Doomsday Clock because it's got the Doomsday Clock on the front, and that's really what it is. So here's Volume 2, nothing on the front, but here we go, it's Doomsday on the back. So I guess if you actually line these up top to bottom, Volume 1 and Volume 2 would be like this, 12 minutes to midnight, and then midnight on the back, which is kind of a cool effect there. You know, so somebody's put some thought into these, which is nice. Always nice. So yeah, so you open it up, a little bit of blood. On the back, a little more blood. Let's open Volume 2, even bloodier. And then at the end, bloodiest. And bloody S, right? S for, or is that not blood now, and now it's Superman's cape? Never thought about that way before. So I can't remember if these were in the single issues or not, this blood motif, but we definitely had this doom. Like every issue would open it up and it'd be a 2-page spread of the D, the O, another O, then the M. So like if you had all 12 issues, you could open them up to a certain page and spell out Doomsday Clock over all 12 issues. It was kind of a lot because you were buying it and it was such a high price. And you're going, you know, this is really, really high for a, you know, these are pages I'm not reading, you know, stuff like that. So here inside there's a publisher's note about what the Doomsday Clock is. It's actually, you know, if you know anything about the atomic era, the Cold War, this is kind of something that scientists use to say this is we're this close to doomsday, etc., etc., etc. Now, Doomsday Clock, just like Watchmen before it, nick the camera there. So let me pull out Watchmen so I can illustrate this properly. Doomsday Clock, like Watchmen, uses the 9-panel grid as a storytelling device. So here's my copy of Watchmen, old DC logo, 2 logos ago on here. So this is 12 issues, very, very thick. And I think if I had waited for a paperback, it'd probably be as thick as this. But the whole idea of this 9-panel grid is that it's easy to read. You go right to left, top to bottom. You always know where to read next. And what Dave Gibbons used is he used this grid and then kind of doubled up on panels so that he could show something wider. So if he wanted one moment, he would double up on panels like you see in this page here. Sometimes he would do like a whole row. Sometimes you would get, you know, 3/4 of a page like this one here. To get like a big moment of impact. And then most other pages, here's one where they use the bottom 3 panels as one, same on the other side. There's a beautiful issue in here. It's called Fearful Symmetry. I want to say it's number 6 or something like that. But anyways, he uses, is it this one? No. It's not 6. Maybe it's 4. Anyway, there's an issue in here called Fearful Symmetry. Yeah, here's the Doomsday Clock from Watchmen. And each issue you got, you know, a bloodier and bloodier and closer to Doomsday. So that's kind of the title of this miniseries is a riff on the stuff that was going on in here. But there was an issue where in the original Watchmen where you could like turn it from front to back and everything was like flipped. Like it was symmetrical in the panel layout. On the pages, it was incredible. And there's YouTube videos about that, so go watch that elsewhere. I'm not going to do one on it because I don't even know which issue it is. So this is Volume 1, and just like Watchmen, each cover of the issue is basically the first panel of the issue. And so you can start with the panel right here and then go directly to panel 1. It should be a continuation. So that's why we have this protest here as the cover to issue 1, and then focusing on the protests here inside. Whereas obviously Watchmen #1, we had the bloody button, and then pulling up from the button up to where the comedian fell from, down here. So we're doing the same thing, and actually, yeah, we're using this, you know, going all the way across, just like page 1. So it would be an interesting read if you were to take the original Watchmen and open it up page to page, you know, to see if, in fact, they use the exact same panel layout. I don't think they do. Yeah, they're not going exact, but it is a little mirrored. It is a little weird because there's two panels up here, and then on the second page of Watchmen, if I can pull this over, so it is kind of mirrored. But it's not panel for panel like recreation or anything, but they're using the characters from Watchmen to tell a story about that universe post Watchmen, and then how they get from the Watchmen universe into the DC universe, which happens, I think, in the middle of volume 1 here. Also, they're setting up something in the DC universe with the like super metahuman superhero program that's run by the government, and telling stories about Firestorm and Superman and Batman and all that, and it all kind of comes to a head. I think I remember a little bit, but just looking at the books here, it's really not meant to be a review, just an overview of the books. They're beautiful. The pages are very nice. The coloring's great. And then, just like the original Watchmen, you have the back matter at the end of every issue. So here's the rise of the metahuman American. Here's everybody that he talked about. There's a lot of references in the back matter that you will get when you read the story, and then things that are alluded to in the story you actually are fleshed out in the back matter. I will say this, though, a lot of the back matter for Doomsday Clock is not as text heavy as it was in Watchmen. Like, Watchmen was book excerpts, things like that, where there's a lot of like what looks like news articles or internet pages, stuff like that. And some of it is snippets, whereas Alan Moore would write the whole damn thing and put it in the back for you here. So what do we get in terms of extras? Not a whole lot, honestly, but I don't know that there was a lot of extras because there were variant covers and you had a lot of back matter. So here's all the variant covers you had for 1 through 6. These are very nice. And then here's kind of some sketches and then some promotional materials using the covers here. So that's the end of volume 1. Let's open up volume 2 while we're at it. Getting Bloodier, Doomsday Clock, part 2. So yeah, just considering the same motif. Keep going. It's got back matter in here as well. And I'm not going to spend too much time on part 2 because you can kind of tell, like, this is number 12, big S here, and there's a battle with Superman and Dr. Manhattan. And I'm interested to read this all at once for the first time because I remember reading it as it came out. Felt like it took forever to finally get what was promised to us at the beginning of book 1, much less what was teased in the DC, was it Rebirth? Yeah, in the Rebirth special, which was basically a showdown between Superman and Dr. Manhattan. It does come, that's good. Was it satisfying? I can't really render a verdict right now because I remember reading it once. So here we are at the back of the book. Here's the S. And then all the variant covers back here. So all the variants are done by Gary Frank, colored by Brad Anderson, like the rest of the series. And Gary Frank, this has got to be his magnum opus, I think. Either this or the Batman Year Ones. But this has the Watchmen characters. It has the DC characters. So I think this might be it. Whether this holds up long term, who knows? We'll have to let history decide for that. But yeah, so there's the 2 original hardcovers that this book was collected on. I'm sure they'll put them together as one hardcover at a future point, or an oversized deluxe edition, or one soft cover, very similar to the original Watchmen, all that stuff. Who knows what's going to happen in the future. But this is the way they were originally collected here in 2019. This is actually 2020 when I picked these up. But yeah, fingerprint magnets. Awesome. But hey, they're going in the dust covers into a slipcase. Who cares? So anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, we will see you guys next time in the funny pages. Like a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this video, and we will see you guys next time in the funny pages.